Today we're going to be talking about SD cards, mainly this 512 gig SanDisk card. I bought it for around $70 and have been really impressed with it. So let's get into it. Let's start off with talking about the needs for SD cards. Your card needs to be big enough to store enough photos or videos for the day, and it needs to be fast enough to actually record those things. If you've got a super slow card, like this one, well, you can't really record very much video on it without the camera either stopping or having to lower your resolution. It also doesn't store much. For example, this card is only 32 gigs. So nowadays 32 gigs really isn't enough. But some cards like this Angelbird card are completely overkill. For most situations, V90, which is a classification for video, is just way too much. If you're doing a lot of burst photography, it can be necessary, but for most situations, it's too much. So I found that this card from SanDisk is great middle ground. It's 512 gigs, so definitely not a small card, but not a terabyte. And it's fast enough for my Canon R7 and R8. See, it's V30, so it's kind of like on the lower end of speeds, but it's a lot cheaper, coming in around $70, compared to this Angelbird's $300. So definitely not a cheap card, but not the most expensive either. And I've been really impressed with it. It can handle all settings on the Canon R7 and R8 without an issue, other than sustained bursts. For that, the V90 has been better, but at the price point, is it really worth it? Well, only if you're doing a lot of sports photography. So if you're getting a Canon camera or a Sony camera that doesn't have super high bitrate video, this is really just the best option. It's fast enough for everything and is a huge capacity. This card is so big that even with the R7's 32 megapixel raw photos, it maxes out at 9,999. I don't know exactly how many photos I can fit on this thing, but definitely a lot. So really that's it. It's fast enough, it's big enough, and it's cheap enough. I would highly recommend getting this card. The only situation that I would say stay away from this card is if you're shooting on maybe Blackmagic Pocket 6K and you want that 6K raw video. This will struggle with anything more than 12:1 compression. So make sure to note that if you're using those cameras. And that's pretty much it. Other than a lot of burst photos, or if you're recording 6K raw, this card is more than enough. Well, that's it for this video. If you want to pick this card up for yourself, there's an Amazon affiliate link in the description below. It really helps out the channel if you go through that link. And if you want to become a Patreon supporter, there's also that as well. If you have any further questions about this card or any other gear that we use on the channel, let me know in the comment section. I will answer your questions. Well, that's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.